You see them everywhere. Casita Trailers. Cute, compact, and kind of iconic. But what if I told you not everyone's impressed? Ashley owns one. She's the creator behind the Shasta Gypsy YouTube channel. And when I showed up to film this, I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought maybe I'd see a few fun upgrades, some DIY flair, and a glowing review. But what I got was something way more honest. I'm Kristen, a small trailer aficionado. From frustrations to surprises, Ashley's telling it all. So, is this Casita trailer overrated? Let's find out.
So this is our third Casita, and the new one has this little light, and the button fell off and it kept falling off. I'd find it, and then this one last time I couldn't find it. So anyway, they sent me a new one and I'm scared to put it on yet. But it is kind of nice to have something that's solar. And of course, these are the fridge panels. We got, here, why don't you come in here? Some things just don't work right, like this, and I have to keep on going like this. I don't have the trailer all leveled and everything connected, so it's shaking in here. I like the sink a lot. One thing I wish they would do is have a window here and ditch this, and this recirculates, whereas before it went to the outside. And we don't have the microwave, which is really great, so now I have all the storage. And in here, what we did is we did the twin bed conversion because I didn't want to do the crawl over. And sometimes, on a rare occasion, I might have 3 people because I have 2 kids. So I wanted a setup that could allow for that. So I went with a Spirit Deluxe, but otherwise, I probably would have done the Independence because I like the drawer and the setup when you come in a lot better than the Spirit Deluxe. I love the TV. It's a huge improvement and it gets a lot of channels. And it's just something that's kind of fun to do, and the antenna works really well. Not everywhere, it depends where you are, but I just never take the time to watch TV very much. And then the smart TV works really well also. So it's been great. So anyone that says that they don't want a TV, I disagree. I think you should get a TV. Here's the sink, and we like the sink a lot better. So it's a lot deeper. It's got hard water stains. We don't use this little strainer, although it's kind of nice to have. And we don't really use this. This kind of sits underneath there most of the time. One thing I wish that they'd have is this like little kind of like an aerator thing, or you could point it around. But I tried to get one on here, and there's something with the threads that no matter what I do, even an adapter, I can't get that on there. Our last Casita, someone did this, and I loved it, being able to put my knives here, because you can see here, the drawer here is really minimal. And here's the thermostat, and this hasn't been that great. You can only raise it up 3 degrees when you're using the heat. We do have the furnace, which I highly recommend, but it's just sort of a pain. So let's say it's 60 degrees out and you want it to be 70, you have to set it to 63, gets up to 63, then you raise it 3, and then it's just kind of a pain. And for whatever reason, it seems like it doesn't work right, and it never, when you use the air conditioning, it gets it too cool. So that is something that's not as good. The Max fan is the same, that's fine. And the stove is a lot better. I really like this cover here. So that's been really great. I didn't turn on my gas, but you don't have to light it anymore. You can, it just will tick, 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 and then it'll turn on. You just twist it. The bad thing is that if you bump into it, which I do a lot, it starts sparking, and you have to be a little bit careful with that. So then I did talk about the knife thing, but the other people have it. I haven't put all of them out yet. So it's just kind of nice because even though I have knife covers for the drawer, it's just so crowded in here. And I actually left one over here and I burnt the cover, but it's not a great thing having these in your drawer, and I just needed the space. Here are the wine glasses. I did a little video on that, but that's just Gorilla taped. And even without the glasses in there, I will tell you it did fall, and Gorilla tape is not foolproof. because I have something in my office and I Gorilla Taped it and the temperature is pretty steady. I thought it was the heat and the cold, but it failed at my house too, and it was something not very heavy at all. So don't mount anything precious with Gorilla Tape because it might not hold. So here's a little carrier I have, and it has a little water drain underneath. I have my cutting boards over here, and I tuck that behind the pipes. I did a trash can video. So this has worked out pretty well. It's not perfect. I think I would probably maybe go with a regular trash can with a lid on it, but it's just a problem. The trash can takes a lot of space. And then with the furnace, you don't have much room here. So actually our old trash can, which I didn't like, holds some things. I should probably get that out. But I have a nice, I'll put that back up. But anyway, I have all my, spoons and spatulas, that kind of stuff in there. And then one thing I've noticed in the new Casita is that these tables, I don't know if it's actual wood veneer, but it doesn't really seem totally like Formica, because Formica, the old one was kind of shinier and you can kind of feel it. This might be real wood, I'm not really sure, but it leaves a lot of glass marks and it's just more difficult to clean. It's not as durable as the last one. The floors are a lot better just because they don't show as much dirt. In our second Casita, it was that white floor and it showed everything. And my first one, it was carpet, which was bad news. So we ripped that out and it seemed really easy, like in your video that you have Doug, that he just put it in. But even though we got this stick-on vinyl plank, it just didn't go very well. And I think part of it was, the stripe of the wood grain and then also this little border thing here. We couldn't get it snug under there and it didn't look that great, but I sold it. It was better than the stained carpet.
Towel holder?
Yeah, the paper towel holder, it was just something we had from moving. I can't really remember which house, but it is kind of nice because you can pull it pretty easily and it has this thing right here. So you don't have paper towels all over the place. And the last one I had was mounted and we would drive somewhere and then come back and there'd be paper towels all over because I forget about it. I know there's some tricks you can do, but I just forgot too many times. This I really like, and it's hard to get the right size. So if I want to cut something and just want the extra space, I can use a cutting board on top of this. One thing we ordered was this flip top. My boyfriend ordered a 6-inch mattress, which has caused a lot of different problems. I wanted to order the 4 inches, and that's what the Casita mattress or the cushions are, 4 inches. And I thought at the most we'll do 5. And he said, no, it's gonna be fine. I want it to be all comfy. He's a chiropractor and he's really snobby about mattresses and sleeping, and he brings these weird, ugly pillows when we go camping. But anyway, this does not go up very well because of this cushion. So I am not using it that much, but I would had it not been for this cushion here. But then now I do have this Lagoon table, sort of can serve over here, or it can go, let me see. Anyway, this Lagoon table, oh, sorry, I hit you again, Kristen, sorry. I'm hitting our cameraman. Anyway, you get the drift, but it's not perfect. I saw that first video you did where the woman has it in the middle and she has a smaller table and she just puts it in there. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that was going to be us, and I was going to buy this Lagoon table, and Lagoon would not be cooperative about using an aftermarket solution to do it in the middle. And I broke down and bought this, and this has been kind of a fail. But when I was at Casita, I had them cut this and it fits perfectly in there. So we can take it apart and make it into a full-size bed. So what we do is we watch TV and everything, and we have it down to a full, but we've switched now, instead of making the bed, because that was such a darn hassle and getting the sheets and all that stuff, we used to just leave it up like that all the time. But now we still make the bed into a full-size bed, but we just get our sleeping bags out and just kind of shift around. And I have a couple flat sheets, and then some blankets, and those I'll show you in a minute. Those are stored under there. And then this is easy to put down too. So it's no big deal. And I kind of like it that way because personally, I don't like feeling him in the night. Like I wake up a little bit and then he wakes up because I woke up and all that stuff. So I can just be here and not be bothered.
Can you talk about why the Lagoon table was a fail?
Well, there were no directions really, and they didn't even give you any screws for the tabletop, and it was very hard to order online. It didn't really show you what it's really going to do, and I think it would work well in an Independence, but not in the Spirit Deluxe. And had I to do it over again, since you showed me the one that mounts in the middle, I would get the one in the middle now, and I would probably have a smaller table, but then have a couple boards like that one woman did so she can still support the full-size mattress, and I would store it just in here. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I wouldn't mind cutting this in half almost, maybe not half, but having those piano hinges where we could put it back up. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do, and but it's kind of nice too because being able to move it around, I can get back in there really easily versus when it was the big table that it came with, you kind of have to just squeeze yourself in. I mean, I'm pretty little, I'm only 5'2", but I think some people would be challenged by that. But anyway, I just shove it over and it's kind of nice to move it around. And, you know, when you do go to sleep, you can just put it there. If I were to ever go solo camping, that's what I would do, probably. But I like the U-shaped dinette. I mean, I don't know. When I go to restaurants and everything, I always like U-shaped dinettes. The fridge has been kind of a fail. When I look at Scamps, they have an option where you can order a bigger fridge. Although I saw Casita has 2 different sizes of fridges, but I don't know if it's this size. I'd have to compare the specs. I'm not really sure. But we were on a trip, one of our first trips, and I don't even really think I had much in the drawers, but it doesn't, or the door, it doesn't really like have that nice snap, a little bit, but not great. We kind of messed with it so it's a little bit more of a snap, but we got to our place at like 1 in the morning and there were eggs and everything. It was just everywhere. So you might need to make some adjustments to yours. It's just a little fussy. I don't like how it's smaller, but I've learned how to deal with it. You can't put a wine bottle up, so I've had to put a little cap thing, a little adapter. And this cabinet's really nice. I'm still organizing it, and I have another bin, but that's a work in progress. A lot of the organizing is still happening. And one thing about the Lagoon table is it's hard to get up and down, more so than you'd think. It's really heavy, and you have to, maybe it's because our table's heavy, but it's just, it's almost so tight, which is good in a way, but you have to really like put a lot of pressure to get it up and down. And then this carbon monoxide detector does not work at all. When we went to install the Lagoon table, we noticed it wasn't working. But otherwise, I hadn't noticed there wasn't any of the beeping, so the red or the green button don't work. So that's already failed. And some of these buttons don't seem like they always hold that well. What else has gone bad? This doesn't work. This, I don't know what they call it, but that little switch there, it's supposed to turn all the power off. That doesn't work. It worked when we got it, but that stopped working. And also, when we turn around, I'll show you the little battery cover that flips open when we're just all the time it flips open. That's really annoying. But in general, I like the floors better, even though these are not the exact wood tones I like, but wood's back in fashion, and I really do like the gray. Even though I'm sick of gray, I think it's been overused, but when I look at the other options, I feel like this is so much better, and I like the warmth of the wood with the gray walls. And even though I was a little nostalgic about the carpet, it was kind of nice to get rid of the carpet. And the bathroom, what's a lot better is the bathroom. And I like this light too. And so here's this is a marine grade sink. I like the marine grade sink a lot, and I like the chrome, but this scratches. So I have to put it down. And then this, I built this little shelf. I actually went to Tap Plastics and they cut it for me and it was just $12, but then I had to go get it cut again. And I needed to round the corners, but they charged $4 per corner and I wasn't sure if it was just quite right. So I went ahead and cut the corners myself just with a miter saw, and it is kind of dangerous. There are pieces of plastic flying everywhere. I wear glasses normally, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was kind of scary. We probably didn't have the right blade, but be careful about working with acrylic. And then when we went to the hardware store, they really only had this thin acrylic, and when I went to Tap, they had all these different sizes. They'll just cut it there, and they do it by whatever size, so $12 is nothing. So this is a lot better because things just kind of fell down. And then today I went to Daiso, that Japanese store, and they had these little toothbrush holders. So that was a new mod today. So that was great. And what else have I done? We have the dry, I don't really like the teak. I feel like teak smells weird. And we just got this at West Marine, and you can buy it by the piece, whereas if you buy it on Amazon, you have to buy like, I don't know, mega amounts of these squares, which we weren't going to use. But anyway, this is the dry fit. And some people it bothers them. They say it hurts their feet, but I kind of like it. Then over here, we've got the Katie's Closet. Oh, that's really squeaky. And this was expensive. I can't remember how much it was. I'll let you know how much it was, but this light was another expense, and I just kind of wanted to do it all because I'm doing videos and everything. So we don't really like it that much. What we don't like about it is there's too many shelves and they're too little, and it would have been nice to have a few bigger shelves. So that's annoying. But what I really like, and I feel like Casita should just come standard with this little hatch because it's rounded and things, it's just a mess. Had I to do it over again, I think I would have just ordered the hatch. Maybe I am done with the closet. But anyway, I did get a few little containers, and I like having some shelves and I like being able to hang things up. But I think I would have done like a stack system. I was thinking about getting some baskets that were stackable and doing that instead, and then just hanging things. I think I would have liked that better than what we did and all the money we spent. Oh, I do need to show you where we put the blankets. We store all of our blankets underneath here. And I got these baskets at Costco, which are pretty neat because they're kind of a rubber and they're not gonna fall apart as easily. And then here is the battery thing that keeps popping open all the time. I don't know what the deal is there. And this doesn't work. It worked when we got it, but then about 4 months later it stopped working. And the carbon monoxide, I think I explained that, that doesn't work. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so we just use a flat sheet and use blankets, and those are pillows back there. We have kind of too many pillows, but I was really inspired by that woman that you showed her Casita, and she had all these pillows and she had kind of a similar setup. And so anyway, I'm trying out a bunch of pillows. I went to Home Goods and we're gonna see which pillows make the cut. I'm not sure about this basket. You'll see here a lot of things still have a tag on them. This was $5.99, but do I really want to go around with this basket? And I have to have the flowers, and those are from IKEA, but these are the better ones. I don't know if you can still get these at IKEA, but they're really lightweight and they can bang around. They're not going to hurt your cabinets or anything. And what else do I really like? Oh, the lamps. That woman had these little lamps. I think she got the black ones, but these are really great. And they get really bright, and it's just so much better than these because These are kind of dim, they're okay, but if you want kind of that mood lighting and watching a movie or doing something, this is just really cozy. They weren't cheap, they were like $33. Maybe you can put the links for those. And then this here, just some of the different things people might want to buy. But anyway, yeah. I'll get some artwork over here and then over there. It's a work in progress. And I've gotten these little cubbies and I need to put labels on them. I love the door. Our last one didn't have this privacy screen. Okay. So this has these little shades. Our last one didn't. It was more of a, I don't know, kind of textured. And the light didn't come in as well, but it did come in the morning. And sometimes I didn't want the light to come in. And we opted not for the roll down shades because I actually like the blinds. I want to make curtains. I have that all ready to go, but I need to find some fabric that I really like enough to make the curtains, but I do so that's not a problem. But I really like this door, and when I'm inside, it has this nice handle, so I can just shut it like that. And I didn't feel like getting out the awning today, but this is mostly it. And our last one had those different levelers. These are way better, I think. And we also got a hitch. I would encourage anyone to get a hitch, to get the bathroom sink. We would not have bought a used Casita without the sink and without the TV, believe it or not. The microwave, we bought one with the microwave even though we didn't want it. But I think those are non-negotiable items. And also the furnace and the AC, because we're in California, so we kind of need both of those things. Now the closet, I'm not sure if I would have spent the money on. And we did the sink, and we love the gray walls. I'm not so sure about the gray bottom. I mean, I like it better, but I wish they had blue. I'm a blue person. I got the blue decals, and I love the rims. I think the rims are a lot better. And we did the awning, and we used the awning a lot. I'm trying to think of which other upgrades we did. We did pretty much everything. We did the larger water and gray water tanks, and we did this over here. One thing I wish we would have gotten was is it the Anderson? We have the sway bar, but with my Jeep, it just sets my Jeep down. And I would warn people about that. Although I think you said in your video that you had a tough time doing it. What's that called?
I don't have
Anderson
the hand
receiver?
strength to connect the Anderson.
So that probably would have been the same thing for me. So I'm not sure about that. But it was very tricky finding a hitch for this Jeep because of the stupid tire. So anyone with a Jeep, I'm warning you that it's kind of tough, but I'm really glad we got the electric one. And
You got the electric tongue jack?
Yep. We also added an extra little connector here. And I think we have an extension too, so we can bring our gas fireplace, but I wish we had a quick connect like the Escapes do. And I'm happy with the windows. I would never get those tilt-up windows that they have now. But we've been happy with it on the most part. It's been a little disjointed dealing with Casita customer service. They want to fix things right away and close a ticket, and then they disappear, and you don't hear. When you do email them, it's either they want to close it out and they're bugging you all the time, but then when you do call them, sometimes they disappear. So I have a few to-do items with them. A new one, which is the carbon monoxide, and then also we're still working on that little switchy thing. We did have issues with our battery. I don't know what caused that. Not too happy with the fridge, but it's okay.
So what? This is the question everybody wants to know.
Okay.
If you had it to do over again, would you do it?
I would buy it again, and I think they have great resale value, and I really like the gray walls, and for us it works right now, but if I could get anything, I would get a Winnebago View, probably. which is, I get these things mixed up, but it's like a C-class kind of small motorhome. I don't want a really big motorhome. We don't have a place to put it. This is good right now because I'm working full-time as a financial advisor and my boyfriend's a chiropractor. We're not retired yet, and we don't have a good place to park something like a big RV or an expensive view. It'd just be baking in the Reading sun, and that's not really a smart thing to do. So I know we can use this and have fun and sell it when we're done, and we'll get most all of our money back. Well, thank you for touring my casita, and hopefully everyone can look at my channel, which is Shasta Gypsy, and I will be going over some of the mods in a little bit more detail, and also sharing with you some hacks and costs and where to shop and what to buy. This is still a work in progress, but there's going to be more and it'll get better.
Do a cheers.
Cheers.